ShartimusPrime, ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking bad shit. Subscribe.
I don't want to know what's going to happen next. Hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Mezco Toys action figure review on the Mezco Toys 112 Collective DC Comics Darkseid. If you're trying to pick this up, you can get it at Megalopolis, City of Collectibles. Check them out, link in the description below. They have an awesome rewards program over there, so the more stuff you get from them, the more points you rack up, and you could use that to getting other products, which is pretty sweet. So you have this nice tin packaging for Darkseid, which I haven't seen for a while. You know, I think the last one I had picked up that had this was a Punisher, and then you could see on the side it says 112 Collective, and then on the back you can see some awesome looking product shots, and then on this side it says Mezco Toys, it says Darkseid right there, and it says Darkseid right here, and then you can see the figure is inside here with some paperwork. So let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's Darkseid out of the packaging, and just first off, looking at this figure, it looks great. I love the aesthetics for it. There are some things that have bothered me about it, and I did find it tricky to pose at first, but then later on having a little bit more fun with it, getting used to the figure. Anyway, we have some good looking accessories, so let's get a closer look at those, and then we'll take a closer look at Darkseid. So we get a pretty standard base along with the armature right over here to pose. Well, you can't use this actually to pose Darkseid. He's just way too heavy for it. So this whole piece right here is a bit useless, but you do get the Omega symbol right over here on the stand, and I do like that. And you get the little peg right over there, so that's pretty cool. So aside from the batteries that are already inserted into the figure, here's all the other accessories that we get. We get the mother box, we get 5 interchangeable hands, 4 interchangeable faces, which we'll look at a little bit closely later on, and then we get the cape, which you already saw on the figure, and I really like how this came out. I really love that they used real metal right here, so that is pretty cool. So this whole thing is actual metal. It has some great paint on it too. You can see how you have this little black fading thing going on right over there that I really dig quite a bit, so that's really neat. And looking right over here, you can see color variation between the different silvers, so that's pretty cool too. Then looking right over here, you can see it has kind of more of like this latexy material, and then we have the soft cottony fabric right over there, so that's neat how that works. I like that. Does attract a bit of lint and everything, but not a big deal. And putting this cape on Darkseid is very easy to do. It just drapes right over and it sits nicely on his shoulders. But looking at the mother box, it looks really good. I love that gunmetal color that they have on it. Nice details and everything right over here. Looks really good, man. Very pleased with that. Yeah, look at that nice attention to detail just throughout on every corner of this thing. It has even tiny little nicks and everything right there. Man, this is pretty crazy. And then you get the hand for holding the mother box, so you get a hand on the left side. That works out pretty well. You also get 2 fisted hands right here, and all the hands look really good. You know, you can see some gunmetal right there, different colors of blue, black paint mixed in there. The knuckles look really good on this too, so I'm liking that. And then you get 2 open hands right here, both looking pretty awesome. So it's pretty interesting. There's a lot of die cast throughout on the figure, even on the head right over here, but not the face itself. And we get 4 interchangeable faces. This one looks pretty cool, just kind of a regular face, you know, not giving us much of an expression, but I do like it. I love the paint right over here, nice black wash over those cracks and everything, making that sculpt really pop out. And I'll demonstrate the light up feature in just a moment, but you could clearly see that it is not functioning right now. Of course, we get that nice silver paint throughout on that die-cast head, so I just want to show that off right there. That looks really good. Really liking that quite a bit. And then to remove the face, you just pick it off right over here, and then you can see that's where the batteries are installed, and you can see the 2 lights sticking out. Then we have a smiling one. I like to tuck the chin underneath right here first, and then wedge that in place, and we have the smiling Darkseid looking really good. Really much appreciate that. A little bit of a gap right over here on the side, and there that goes. Nope, still kind of there, so that's a little frustrating with that part, but still, I do like it. And tiny little scuffs of paint right up there, but still, I do like how that face looks. And then we also have the really mean one. He's got his face all busted right over there. I'm assuming Superman shot him with his laser beam from his eyes, right? I don't know, but that looks pretty cool. I really dig that. The teeth look great over here too. Nice looking teeth. Do wish that this shined when the light up feature was on. That would have been kind of neat, you know, but oh well. It still looks pretty awesome. We have the Omega Beam head sculpt, and that looks great. I really like that quite a bit. You can see how it just angles around like that. That is really cool. Oh man, they did such a great job with that. Love that translucent plastic. And then to turn on the light up feature, you just pop the head off entirely, and then there's a switch right in here, and then just turn that on, and then you can't really tell the difference. If I shut off the lights a little bit, you can see it shining some. I have had this on for quite a bit, so I may have drained a bit of the battery, but if you want to see an image with all the lights off, you can see how it looks. So it doesn't go all the way through, which is a little frustrating, but it still looks really cool to me, you know. And then just see how another face looks with this on. If you could see the eyes, yeah, and then the eyes shine really nicely like that. I mean, really, compared to some other figures out there, I think Mezco has just better battery life with their figures. I don't know how, but you can see as I turn to the side, it looks like the eyes just totally dim out. So yeah, I do think I've lost some power here. Then I wanted to just show off this face sculpt right here with the light feature on, and you can see that the light doesn't shine through any of those cracks on the top of his head at all or anything. Shutting just these two lights off, you know, you can see it still looks really cool. Now I'm noticing tiny little bits of paint missing right around the collar. That bugs me some, but not a big deal. I mostly like how the rest of the body looks on this figure. I mean, look at that, man. I like how the fabric right over here kind of has this leathery look, so that's pretty cool. And then looking on the side, you can see some nice black paint mixed in there. I don't like this portion right here. I wish this forearm was sculpted in a way where it doesn't just cut off all of a sudden, you know, or maybe it's the bicep, but if this looked a little bit smoother, that would have been nice. So that's probably my biggest gripe with this figure. Looking at the gloves right there, man, all kinds of awesome detail. I dig that. We already looked at the hands, but yeah, looking at more of the forearm. You can see the ball joint, you know, it's exposed, but it really doesn't bother me. Looking at the belt right here, looks really good. I like that. And I forgot to mention that you can attach the mother box to the back, so it is magnetized, so that is really cool that you can do that. It's pretty sweet. And there's the skirt right there, and then you can see on the right side we get some nice details on the glove once again. Then here's looking at the legs, and I love that black wash over the gray. Looks really good. Here's looking at the Darkseid butt. You can see some gashes and everything on the thighs, and then the boots look very impressive as well. Love all that attention to detail with the silver. Nice little scuffs and everything sculpted in there. I dig that. The boots look awesome. Nice treads right here. And of course he has the peg holes underneath his feet as well. Now before getting into the articulation, I did want to mention while looking at this figure from farther away, the head does look a little on the big side to me rather than the dark side. Oh, that's awful, okay. Also, this thing is hefty. There is quite a bit of weight going on over here with Darkseid. A lot of die cast in this figure. So anyway, you can move the head up that far and it'll look down that much. You get side-to-side motion and a great amount of head tilting. Shoulders can move up that far, which is pretty good. You can also move them down. You could rotate a full 360, but you kind of want to be mindful of this right here. You don't want that die cast rubbing against the plastic, even though it is very nice hard plastic. No bicep swivel, but we do get a single jointed elbow that does not meet 90 degrees. You could also rotate at the elbow. You get wrists that turn side to side, and you can hinge up and down or do a side to side hinge depending on how you have that configured. You get a waist joint that'll crunch forward just a little bit, crunches back. You get side to side motion just that much. You get some waist pivoting right there. You can shift this belt around a little bit. Hips move outward just that far, and he'll kick forward that much, back a bit, upper thigh cut. Single jointed knee that does just not quite meet the 90-degree mark, but almost. You do get a little bit of boot rotation right up here, and then you can turn the ankle side to side. It'll move down just a little bit, up just a little bit, and only a tiny bit of ankle pivot. And to measure out Darkseid, you can see that he's measured out to be a little over 8 inches tall. Then for a Mezco 112 collective size comparison, we have Darkseid next to the Man of Steel Superman. I don't have the comic-inspired version of Superman from 112 collective, but I'm assuming it's about the same height as this one, which works pretty well with Darkseid. And then here's Darkseid next to the DC Multiverse Super Friends Superman figure, and this stands a little bit taller than the Mezco figure, right? Just by a little bit, but yeah, I still think these scale pretty well. And then here's Darkseid next to a couple of Marvel villains that remind me of Darkseid. We have the Build-A-Figure Apocalypse with the added part right there, and then we have a Walmart exclusive Thanos. And I do know that Thanos was inspired by Darkseid, so yeah, without a Darkseid we wouldn't have had Thanos. I don't know if Darkseid inspired Apocalypse though. I don't know, I'm seeing a lot of similarities between the designs of those two. And then here's Darkseid next to your average 600 scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Classic Spider-Man. DC villain. I have nothing to worry about. Oh my god. Oh, ow, 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 ow. So again, I think this Darkseid figure looks great. It's actually my only Darkseid figure in my collection, but I really like it quite a bit. At first I was bummed out about the articulation, but this character doesn't really need a whole ton of articulation, even though especially at the ankles I would have liked to have seen a lot more. That still bugs me. You can see there's space between the foot and the ground that he's standing on. So that frustrates me. And at a price point of about $180, I'm giving this figure a sub rating of...
It's not too bad.
I do think that's a pretty high price point, but at the same time, you're getting a lot of high quality stuff over here with this figure, and I mostly like it. It's just pretty expensive, man. And I'd like to know what you guys think. If you want to stay in touch with me on social media, you can follow me over on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Stardust. And if you want to see the latest in toy news, action figure reviews, and photos, you can find it all over at toynewseye.com, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
Posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures every day. I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, it's okay.
That's crispy.
Hey, new ShartimusPrime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.
Your face, a sip more shot in your face, a sip more shot, your face.